I see this all the time. And I know a lot of Scottsdale North homeowners see it too and say, what is that? Matt, what is that?
Right here we have a structural failure on a garage door. So this can be caused by normal wear and tear, heavy usage of the door, or impact of some kind or an accident backing into it with a car or a golf cart or something like that.
That's interesting. Hey gang, Scott with the Scott Gaertner Group here, and we are back with Connecting Scottsdale North. You know, we haven't made one of these videos in a while, so I thought this was a good enough reason to make one. And for those of you who haven't seen us before, the mission of Connecting Scottsdale North is to connect Scottsdale North residents with great local providers so that we're keeping business local and giving you the right solutions. Today we're here with Matt Justice from CMB Garage Doors, and he's going to fill us in a little bit about what we can do with our garage doors and what happened here. Most likely somebody backed into it, or actually there's some black here, maybe they bumped it.
Correct, yeah. Happens a lot, you know, tighter driveways and stuff. You're in and out of the garage a lot and accidents happen.
So what's the solution? Can we just change this panel?
With garage doors, the general rule of thumb is, 6 to 8 years age-wise on the door is, do we want to wait for this card?
Let it go.
Yeah.
It's going to happen a lot. We got cars going by. That was particularly noisy. But hey, that's life in the big city, right, gang?
Structural integrity of the door is compromised. It's definitely a safety concern. This can cause a lot of issues when opening and closing the door. General rule of thumb with garage doors, kind of that 6 to 8 year mark on the age, you can get replacement panels for them. Once you're kind of over that age, it's hard to find replacement panels. They've changed over the years, and all the hinges, hardware, all that stuff that never really gets replaced gets to that age about the 6 to 8 year mark, where if you're going to replace panels, it is a good idea, just to go ahead and replace the door so that you freshen up all the equipment with the door as well.
Cost-wise, it's going to be about the same anyway, right?
Yeah, cost-wise, if you're 2 panels or more, most of the time you're right there at the cost of a whole new door package. So it is a good time to just invest and replace the door whenever you get to that point.
And that's the real reason I'm doing this. Most of our homes in Scottsdale North are approaching 30 years old. He's saying 6 to 8 years. This home's 31 years old. So, we're at that point. And nobody wants to make that expense. But, we tell people, they say, what should we do to get more value for our home? And I tell them, look, we'll never ask you to do anything that you won't get at least twice your money back for. And the big ones are the roof and the HVAC, because what happens is if I walk by or into this house and I tell them there's original roof and air conditioning, they go, well, that's $75,000. It's not. We can do it for half of that, less than half of that. What about these things? Is that a good return?
Definitely. Yeah, the garage door is definitely one of the best return on investments, home improvements in Arizona for a few years now. So the money that you're going to invest in new doors is definitely going to improve the home desirability, your investment on the home, what the home is worth. It is one of the first things that you see when you drive up to a home. So your curb appeal increases greatly.
We've got one, sorry to interrupt, but we were looking across the street at how great this garage door looks. It's one of Matt's doors, and it's a totally different feel. It's really smooth and flat. It looks good.
Definitely. Yeah, and in certain neighborhoods, especially with this flush panel, a couple things that you can really point out even when you're driving down the road and see these doors. After that 20-year mark on doors, the structural integrity of the older doors deteriorate. So you'll start seeing doors that they get more of a bowed, rounded panel, and that's from that years of closing over and over again. It starts to kind of crunch that panel down. Obviously, new doors, the new technology and material they use, they hold up way longer than that. But it is a good thing when you pull up to a house, you can see right off the bat if you've made that improvement or if it's an original door to the home.
And part of that too is, these are great homes, but these are builder grade doors. Nobody, when I was selling these new, I did not tell people what kind of garage door we had. They weren't listening to that. They had a lot more sexy things to think about than the garage doors. The windows is the same thing. We'll be doing a video with that coming up because they are getting at 30 years old. You got to start thinking about replacing them. We're going to find you some things like that. But these are builder grade doors, well past what is considered their useful life. So this is really something that you got to be thinking about. And it won't just be aesthetics. I mean, there's some practicality with the new insulated doors, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, going from a non-insulated builder grade door that a lot of these, 20, 30-year homes had, going from that to modern technology, modern insulation now, normally we see a 25 to 30 degree temperature change in the garage.
25 to 30 degree temperature change in the garage. Just want to make sure you hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a major improvement on the home efficiency, the garage temperature, as well as the rooms that border the garage. You're going to see a significant drop in temperature and how hard your AC unit has to work to maintain that temperature in the garage.
That makes sense. And yeah, if you even have a AC in the garage, and this one happens to, but now this one is a north door, probably not as big of an impact, but if you got a south, an east, or a west, that door gets a lot of sun.
Correct. Yeah. On this particular home facing north, I would probably not go with our top tier model unless the homeowner really wanted to just get the best of the best. You really can get the most bang for your buck with maybe a step below that. You still want a really good insulated door to keep that hot air out, but without that direct sun, it's not going to make that 25, 30 degree temperature difference comparatively to a direct sunlight door. So we do have about 4 tiers of insulated doors that we could go with to really maximize what we can do with the garage based on garage placement, which way it faces, stuff like that.
Well, geez, it would be great if we had a new garage door here with us, but wait a minute. Maybe he's got one being put in today. I think we should go over and take a look and just kind of see what's going on with that, talk about the doors a little more and the options. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's head over there.
All right. Well, you guys saw the problem. Here's the solution. I don't know if you could hear that. It was so quiet, so much better than my garage door. That's slick.
Yeah, the new doors are really quiet, they're really smooth, mainly because they're so rigid now with the spray foam insulation and stuff in there. It's so sturdy. There's no flex and creaking and cracking whenever the door's opening. So it's a major improvement on how smooth it is and sound.
I would think most people are going to replace that door. They're going to replace that. What's going on with technology? There's a lot going on with the openers now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the new openers, they have so much awesome technology with them. A lot of people, North Scottsdale and stuff, snowbirds, out of town a lot, vacationing and stuff. The new openers are actually Wi-Fi and plug into your phone, where they have an app. You can see if the garage door is opened or closed. You can open and close the door from your phone. They have a built-in camera so you can monitor the door. If you're out of town and somebody needs to drop something by, you can open the door for them, close it. If you're anything like me, you're leaving the house, you drive down the road and you think, did I close the door? I can't remember if I closed the door.
I do that, yep.
Well, nowadays, you don't have to turn around and drive back or call the neighbor. You can just pull up your phone, look and see if the door is open or closed. If you left it open, you can just close it right from your phone.
That's very cool. You can look up Nextdoor, look at their reviews. We don't put anybody in here we aren't backing up. I'm telling you, this is a great company, and I have heard real horror stories. One national company in particular that will charge you 3 or 4 times what these guys will charge you. So this is something you want to shop, really. But I'm telling you, these guys you can count on, and I appreciate you taking the time. We'll have his contact information here. But Matt, thanks for doing this with us, and we may do more because I know there's some other stuff we should talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.